Welcome to the From the Back Tees podcast. As always, I'm Zach. We got my guy Nolan. We got my guy Reed here, fresh off 40-somethingth place. You'll take it. And Reed, I know we got a special guest. I'll let you do the introduction.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. One of my good friends here, Dillon, number 13 car. He is a NASCAR driver and even better person. Ty, welcome to the show.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you guys having me on. And really, really amateur golfer. Forgot to add that part.
Right.
Hey,
I feel like I'm
you're
still the worst
improving,
golfer.
though.
Well,
you got to remember. You remember the first time I ever saw you hit a ball at the Greenbrier,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
totally.
Hey, we've gone up from there. We've gone up
That's
from
right.
there.
That's right. I buried a big putt though for our pro-am team.
Who was that pro? I don't even remember.
Danny Lee.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right. That's right.
Yep.
Danny Lee's been doing well too.
Right.
He learned some stuff from that round.
You think you taught him a couple of things?
Oh, absolutely.
So Ty, the big question when it comes to golf is who's your brother and you? Who's dominating right now?
Man, I haven't played him in a while. Last time we played, I beat him pretty handily, but that was on my home course. But he's moving the ball pretty well right now. I'm to 12 right now handicap, and I think he's
Really?
about the same. So yeah, we I here at our home course we have tees. Our second, not the tips, are 7,000. They're second from the back. I just shot 85 from there, so I'm getting better and
Nice.
working on it. So I haven't played him head to head though yet in a while. So
Have you come close to any even par nines?
no, I was 2 over.
Okay.
Was the best I've done yet. Yeah,
You're getting there, man. You're getting there. I remember
getting
at
close.
Greenbrier, there was some struggle going on. We had a couple
Totally.
blocks.
Totally, big time. I've cleaned it up a little bit since then. The quarantine has helped my game.
Right.
7,000
So, Zach,
yards is no joke, that's for sure. And where's your home course, you're saying?
So I live here on Trump National in Charlotte. So it's a pretty nice course. It's tough for sure.
Yeah, it's hosted PGA Tour events and all the sorts.
Yeah.
Can we even call you amateur when you've got a sponsorship deal here?
Yeah, I don't
that's
know.
what I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure.
Well, the
Very
game
confusing.
is very amateur, but yeah, Wilson's staff they've given me clubs for a couple of years now, and I love their clubs, and I promote them as much as I can at the racetrack. I kind of do it sneakily. Anytime there's a rain delay, I usually have a Wilson staff umbrella, and no, they're a great group of guys to work with. So made some good friendships there, and enjoy playing with their stuff.
Is Gary Woodland Wilson staff? You ever get to hang out with Gary?
Yeah.
I haven't. I'd like to. Seems like a great dude.
I'll have to make that happen.
Do you know
Yeah.
any other athletes in other sports that are with Wilson that play golf that maybe aren't necessarily a golfer?
I'm not sure, but when I was there and I was getting fitted at their headquarters, they had file cabinets from forever of past
Really?
presidents. Every person that's anybody has played Wilson golf clubs, and they still have all their fittings, their measurements, and everything filed away. So it was really cool
That's
to
impressive.
see all that.
Does Trump have a golf sponsorship?
Oh, I'm sure he's played Wilson staff at some point.
I don't know what president sponsorship rules are.
Yeah.
So, Zach, what do you say we start with some of the Corona topics? Corona topic within the sports. Last week we talked about it a little bit as far as the process in the golf side of things and how they're taking it and what they're doing with the Corona stuff. Ty, what are they doing in NASCAR? What's the process every day when you show up to the track for test runs or for trials or what have you for the actual race? What are they doing?
Yeah, so we typically on a regular race weekend we show up on Thursday and we end up racing on Sunday, but we'll have practice day is Friday and we'll qualify on Saturday and race Sunday. But they've pretty much eliminated all that. There's no practice at all. We show up on Sunday morning. And as a driver, I pretty much have to quarantine within I have a motorhome that I go to each race in. So
really?
I show up, I fill out a form beforehand. I get there, they check my license and everything. They give us they check our temperature when we go in, and once we're clear, we're in, and you pretty much have to self-isolate until about 10 minutes before the race, and we walk out by ourselves with all of our stuff on, hop in the car, race, and don't talk to anybody pretty much, and walk back out and leave. It's really weird, and you really miss being able to interact with people.
Do you get to consult your pit crew at all before? Or do you ever do that in the first place?
Yeah. Typically I do. Typically I'm in and out of the garage and talking to my guys all weekend. Spend a ton of time with them, and that's a lot of the things that help teams get better. But now we're kind of having to go off the fly, and then just straight up just go out and race and figure it out as we go. So that makes it really tough. This weekend was kind of weird. Yesterday, we kept having lightning delays, and we had like 6 or 7 lightning delays, which, it's 30 minutes before we can go back to it. And so we ran like 5 laps and there's a lightning delay, or in 11 laps there's a lightning delay. And it was kind of like having a little bit of practice. So you're kind of able to talk with your team a little bit, and I was able to sit with them and kind of catch up. But for a lot of the guys, you don't get to see them very much anymore until hopefully this goes away.
Who are some of your best friends out there?
I don't really have many best friends. Our sport is so competitive. It's pretty cutthroat.
Who's your biggest enemy? That's the bigger question.
Oh yeah, enemy is everyone. Once we strap up and go, it's enemy.
Even your brother, huh?
Yeah, even my brother. Yeah,
biggest enemy.
Biggest, yeah, for sure.
We can take someone out for you.
Yeah.
Who was that we played with in Phoenix there, Ty? Remember when we played golf out at
Oh yeah, he was my teammate. He was one of my teammates last year. That was Daniel Hemrick.
That's right.
He is running the Xfinity series, which would be kind of like the Corn Ferry Tour. So he's back. He's running that this year, and he's a good driver. Hopefully, get his opportunity again at the Cup Series.
Okay, so before, as a pre-statement here, I'm the Canadian of the podcast. And I've only gotten into NASCAR recently because it was the only thing going on. And firstly, I got to say this is incredible for your sport, because I feel like I told them before, UFC and NASCAR, I'm all in now.
That's awesome.
Some things I've been trying to figure out. Cup Series is like the top level, right? And Xfinity's the one below?
Yep.
And what about like Truck Series? Is that below, or it's just different?
Yeah, so I'll try to categorize it. So obviously Cup Series would be, the PGA Tour. Xfinity Series would be Corn Ferry Tour. And then what would be Truck Series would be
like the Canadian Tour? What about like the Canadian Tour?
Yeah.
What about like the Canadian Tour?
Or like Latin America or something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like one of those.
But it's so weird because the top guys race in the truck ones too sometimes.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily they've made a lot of rules, but there's a lot of guys that still kind of go down. Like Kyle Busch races in both the series. Yeah, he's like trying to get to 100 wins in the Xfinity Series before he quits running those races. And I don't know what his goal is in trucks, but he does go and kind of pick on the guys a little bit.
Wow, this is amazing.
Hey,
I'm all in on NASCAR.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. That's what we've been hearing, is we got a lot of new fans from this. The viewership numbers haven't been crazy, but like the new viewers that have never watched NASCAR is like through the roof.
Yeah, I hear going to an event too is like the craziest thing. Like
Zach,
so much better.
You'll have to. So when I was in Kansas City last year, I went down to pit row and watched Ty race, and I went up in the stand. I don't know what they call it, the stand where all the pit crews sitting and whatnot.
Yeah, the pit box.
Pit box, dude. It was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's the dream. Could I be Reed's +1? Reed, we'll make sure you're
sure.
the next
totally.
time.
You guys are totally invited anytime you want to come.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you're my favorite NASCAR driver. It'll be like that for life.
That's my goal.
And whoever you declare your enemy by the end of the show will be my arch rival.
Totally.
Zach, so what do you have for Ty here?
Well, I'm not at my question portion yet. I feel like we got to go over your week of golf, Reed. I feel like you're shying away from it.
Yeah.
Ty,
Yeah,
did you?
no, I'm not shy. I'm not shying away from it. I just I like the new addition to this podcast in the NASCAR style. I love it.
True. Ty, did you watch the event this week?
Oh, absolutely. I follow. I obviously follow Mark and Reed every weekend. They tee it up, so I usually watch them. The PGA app is different every week, so like I'm either watching shot by shot or catching
Right.
up, depending.
Right.
So I was following Sunday, but I was kind of in and out. But I saw it wasn't going probably up to norm.
No,
But
we struggle, man. But it's golf. You're gonna have your rounds where you struggle. I mean,
yep,
it's
for sure.
inevitable. In any sport, you're gonna have a bad game or a bad round or whatever. So it happens, and you move on, and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, he shot the same as Rory, so you got to
There
look
you
at it
go.
that way.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, it's super interesting, like, experience seeing no fans out there, no grandstands. A lot of big names are on that leaderboard and Saturday for sure. So
Right.
it was a big opening for golf coming back. That was a pretty awesome tournament. Got a playoff even. So yeah, it was a fun week.
I'll tell you what, that field was incredible, man.
There's everyone
Everyone-
but Tiger, basically.
Basically, I mean, who else wasn't there? I mean, I'm sure there was one or two not there. that
Kuchar.
were just not-
Tiger and Matsuyama. That's basically
Oh,
it. The top 10.
and Kuchar.
Oh, Kuchar was there.
Kuchar was there, yeah.
Way
He
to
was
make
there?
it. Yeah, Kuchar.
So yeah, I mean that's crazy, man. It was literally like the Players Championship field.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but overall, what about Bryson? That guy. That was something. I don't know if you saw it, Reed, but I'm sure Ty and Nolan,
Yeah.
you guys saw.
Oh, he's beefcake
Dude.
now, man. He's huge.
I said something about it. I mean, I didn't even know that all this had come out. I'm like, man, that guy got either gotten big. I have no idea.
He's
Like,
coming
who's this
for
new
you.
guy?
Yeah,
He's huge.
but-
He's coming
To
for
swing
your
that hard
brand.
and to make contact is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
right. And the
Weird
sweet
setup.
spot over time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a roadkill after it gets hit. It just goes into rigor mortis. It's stiff.
Yeah.
Interesting guy. I'm definitely looking forward to see how he does every single week and I think a lot of people are talking about how his health might hold up with adding a bunch of weight all of a sudden and swinging so violently all of a sudden. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, the dude draws some eyeballs, that's for sure.
Sure.
There's definitely something to watch. That's for sure. And you know what, dude, you can't deny his talent. I can play golf as much as you want to. Whoever wants to, look at what he does and how he does it. But dude, he gets the ball in the hole.
Yeah, it's incredible. And then how much of a difference, like we see in golf, there's so many different body sizes. What about in NASCAR? Is it sort of the same or?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. Like a lot of short, really small guys, I'd say would be the average. But like myself, I'm right at 6 foot, so I'm one of the taller guys. But you have
Ty's
short,
like
small-
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Not really. I'm getting there. I'm working pretty hard right now. But there's some guys that are bigger, like 200 plus pound guys too. I was like a couple years ago, I was like 190. Now I'm down to about 170. I've cut some weight, which is helpful in a race car. The lighter you can be is definitely more helpful.
Right.
We can then place the weight in our car where we want. So if I lose 20 pounds, I can pretty much put 20 pounds in the car where I want to make it handle better. So it is.
Oh
it is
wow, I
mobile.
never even thought of that. I never even thought of that.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Is-
pretty
is-
cool.
is
But
there-
they do
there's
a
a
good
way-
job of policing. What's that?
There's not a weight limit that it can't go under, right? I mean, you're just really trying to make it as light as it can.
Yeah, they give you breaks though. Like if they wouldn't, just because everybody would try to be about 100 pounds if so, but like if you're in the 170 bracket, you get a certain weight break, and so it's not a complete advantage. It's pretty much, depending on what your weight is. So the goal is when you weigh in at the beginning of the year, which people used to kind of trick the system, they would all make you weigh in at the first race, and people would put lead in their shoes and tape it to their legs, and they'd weigh in at like 200 pounds. They'd take the lead off, they'd be 160 pounds. They'd be walking around clinking, and
Right.
but now they've caught on to it, so we pretty much weigh in just our underwear, and somebody has to watch us now. So there's no massive advantage other than just being a little bit lighter in the seat.
Yeah, I'd
You
heard
guys
about that.
actually, you guys actually have a weigh-in?
Yeah, yep. At the beginning
I
of the
never
year,
knew that.
every time we run a super speedway, so it's like Daytona and Talladega, and then that sets the tone for the next 10
I
to
think
12 races.
Talladaga's coming up, right?
Isn't it
Yeah,
this week?
that's Sunday. Yep,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
the
best,
Canadian
too.
knew. Reed.
that's right. That's my sponsor's race.
The
I gotta
Geico
win it.
500.
Yep, I gotta win it.
That's right. That's Ty's sponsor, maybe Geico, the number 13 Geico Chevrolet.
Wow.
That's right. Burger used to be sponsored by Geico.
Really?
Yeah.
A good
Pretty
omen.
good.
Yeah.
Really.
My
Hey,
guy's
Ty,
one of his old head
Ty and
covers.
Nolan, there is some info that came out yesterday in regards to Ty. Ty became a new uncle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep. It's my 7th nephew. We have so many boys in our family, but I have the only daughter of both sides of our family. But yeah, my brother had his first child I guess it was yesterday. It's been such a long day, but yep, he's doing that. He's taking that step in life, which is cool.
For those listening, Ty's brother is Austin Dillon, who also races in NASCAR, the series as well, the Cup Series.
Yeah.
I got to give a nice little tidbit here of this was some great info that I had. Okay, in that race, it was 2 races ago in the blue emu.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you thought I was kidding. I'm actually
no,
big at
he's into this. Oh, you're dialed in.
Okay. This part, I'm not 100% sure. His teammate or the backup driver is either Almirola or Allmendinger.
Allmendinger. Oh my gosh, you know your
Spot
stuff,
on.
dude. Yeah.
Okay, this is where it gets a little dark. So I had read before that he might just leave in the middle of the race if he has a kid, which I didn't know was a thing, that you could just get over on the side of the thing and just be like, I'm out, someone else take over. So middle of the race, he pulled over, and I turned to my dad. I'm like, this is it. He's about to get out. He's having a kid. And no, he was like dehydrated. That's where it took a dark turn.
Yeah. So it was a crazy story. We were parked beside each other that race before the race, and actually in that race we ran into each other a couple times. I think it made it on TV, us bouncing off of each other. But so early in the race, he on lap 3 he had a flat tire, and in our cars we have what we call crush panels, which seals the interior of the car up so that carbon monoxide doesn't get in, and the exhaust and the heat somewhat dissipates. So that race was extremely hot, and he got pretty much just heat exhausted, and he had a big blister on his butt because he was using ice packs, and one of them melted and boiled. And so that's what he got out, because he was smoked. I guess they measured, they had a temperature strip inside of his car, and it was 170 degrees in his car.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, my car was 150 degrees. And I was pretty hot. I still have a blister on my heel from that race.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. It's pretty deep, but
What
it
kind
gets
of
brutal in
shoes you
those
wear?
short track races. What's that?
What kind of shoes do you wear?
We have special shoes that are
they
leather,
special
and
racing shoes?
I even wear heat guards on my heel. There's probably about 6 or 7 inches of insulation. That's how hot it gets. But our where we sit is where our feet are, is right where the exhaust runs, right underneath our feet, which is thousands of degrees. So it's hard to dissipate it, And then you have your brake heat going through the pedal pretty much. And to me, it felt like my brake pedal was cherry red hot. So
crazy. I would have never even thought of that kind of stuff. You guys deal with that. But thinking about it, that's crazy.
I gotta ask you, what did you think? They wore Converse?
I don't know. Maybe some Jordans.
Yeah. No, special shoes.
You just get those Air Force Ones.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I'm learning so much about NASCAR that I never even thought of. I watched Ford versus Ferrari. What the heck, man? That's a little different. I didn't know you guys, skewed the rules as much as IndyCar does. And I know IndyCar is kind of famous for that, like really just trying to tweak the rules here and there and find the loopholes of how to make their car a little bit faster.
Hey, Ty, I have a question
Yeah.
that I've always kind of been curious, and I've never really had opportunity to talk to you before, obviously multiple times, but I've never really asked anyone. What's the difference between a short track and a long track? I know in a super speed, I know the distance, I know the speed, and I know, but which one do you prefer, or do you prefer that type of track? And do some types of tracks suit other drivers better than others, or you know what I mean? How does that kind of stuff work?
Yeah,
Long courses, golf courses, short golf courses, you know what I mean, whatever.
Yep. So I'll try to compare it, because I know most of the audience is probably golfers. So short tracks obviously is a short track. We would consider it underneath a mile. And then we have speedways that are 1.5 miles. Then we have super speedways that are 2 miles and above. And we also have road course races too, which are typically 2.5 miles, but they're left and right turns.
Right.
Short track cars are built to be real light. Downforce isn't a big, it matters. And downforce is pretty much, for simple terms, if you have your hand going out the window of a car and you're kind of letting it go up and down, when you tilt your front of your fingers down and your hand gets pushed down, that's downforce. When you tilt it up, that's lift. So we build our cars to be pushed down in the ground as hard as we can at most tracks, short tracks and speedways. So that matters a lot at those tracks, and whoever can kind of squeeze that out of their cars is really good at those places. And that's kind of going back to Nolan, that's the gray area that everybody's trying to squeeze. We have technical systems that we have to pass a technical inspection before the race that measures down to the 100,000th of an inch through laser scanning. So yeah, it's very tight, but people still have to push in the gray areas, and it still matters. But for me, I've been very successful at short tracks, and our team hasn't been the best at 1.5 miles. So we've been up and down. I don't particularly prefer any certain track. I like them all. I try to stay open-minded, and I think if you get too close-minded of, even if you're playing golf, like, oh man, I don't play good here, I think you're already doing yourself a disservice. You got to kind of stay open-minded that this could be, my next favorite track, or this could be, but certainly I've been probably most successful at super speedways like Daytona and Talladega.
Right.
I think I finished in the top 6, like 5 out of the last 6 super speedways. So I certainly look at this weekend as a chance for us to win a race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think putting it in perspective, like when we go to 1.5 miles, kind of like this past weekend, I expect our team to try to run around 18th to 20th, because our team is underfunded, a little bit undermanned compared to most, but that's a good goal for us. In short tracks, I think running in the top 15 is our goal in and out. But we go to Daytona, Talladega, I feel like I can win the race.
Good, man. I remember watching you. It might have been this year at Daytona. And you were running pretty well for a while. That's right. Yeah. And then a couple laps left, you wrecked, didn't you?
Yeah, we were super fast there. I was inside the top 10 all day.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think the last couple Daytona 500s I finished really well, but our car wasn't very fast. I ran at the back and just missed the crashes. This time I was really fast, ran up front, got in the crash. So they are crash vests. There's usually 10 or 12 cars left, and whoever misses them or stays up front ends up doing well. So it's a patience and navigation game.
What's the shock factor like when you come into collision with a car? I mean, is it just so natural to you now that it's like, whatever?
You never get used to it. No, it hurts. I had the hardest hit I've had in my career in Daytona. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the crash that Ryan Newman had. That was the same race.
Yeah.
But which he's lucky to walk away from. But I crashed the crash before that. Somebody hit me in the right rear at full speed, and I hit the wall.
I was watching that at a bar. I remember that.
Yeah, I hit the wall head on, and I hit so hard that the force of it slapped me into the wall 2 more times before it even came off the wall and slid down the track. And I was sore. I was pretty sore. for the next day after that. But that's it never feels good. You never get used to hitting the wall at 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you worried
imagine.
when it's happening, or you're like confident in the car?
No, you're worried. Yeah, you're worried. You
I don't
tense up
know.
with
I'd be
I mean,
shitting my pants. I'd probably die from like freaking out. But
yeah. Well, it's no different than like being in a regular car crash or that moment of like you squeeze the wheel really hard. You're like, ah, and then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I'm alive. Okay, now let's assess is, are my hands and feet working? Okay, we're good. So now let me get out. It's kind of that moment every time. It's not fun. The worst ones though, I had a really bad one in Michigan, which is a bigger track. It's not necessarily like Daytona and Talladega, but it's right at 2 miles. And we used to go about 217 around there. And I was probably going right around 205, and down the backstretch, somebody's battery fell out of their car. And I was passing somebody and just pulled out. And at 205 miles an hour,
Oh
you
yeah.
can't register what anything is. And I was like, oh gosh, please be a piece of foam. Well, it wasn't a piece of foam. It felt like a bazooka went through my car, and it went through the radiator and into the motor and knocked all the oil and water out of it. So when it did that, I had no brakes, no nothing, and I hit the wall head on at like probably 200, and that one hurt. It's on YouTube.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is crazy. What's
Yeah.
the fastest you've ever gone in a car? I mean, it could
I
be
think-
a NASCAR, or it could be a normal car, whatever.
I hope
Yeah, I
not a
think
normal
217.
car.
Yeah. I think 217 at Michigan's the fastest I've ever been.
That's correct. I can't even imagine. When I get to 100 in my car, and that's what I do very often, but I'm like, dude, I'm feared for my life.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I don't go very fast in street cars, but anything over 200 miles per hour, it's things happen really quick.
Anything over 100 miles an hour, things happen really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it like awful just driving on the street? 'Cause you're just like, this is so boring.
I don't do a whole lot of driving because I learned how to race before I learned how to drive on the street. So I like kind of come up with my own rules on the street where I see like holes or gaps that I would see as like, passing or taking advantage of racing. And I don't speed. Like my wife calls me a grandma when I drive, and she usually does most of the driving, but like I definitely don't like fully stop at stop signs and like do the simple laws that everybody is supposed to know. I just kind of do my own thing, and it makes it nerve-wracking for other people.
That's funny.
Speaking of like passing and making moves, who's some of the harder guys to pass on in NASCAR?
Oh, absolutely. Ryan Newman is the hardest to pass. We call him the kidney stone.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, he races everybody that way, which is nice. But there's some guys that will race some people hard and let some people go. Those are the ones that are frustrating.
Are you able to tell who's behind you?
Oh yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah, I can tell. Like you get a good look at everybody. You get a look at everybody's car before the race, and you know everybody's number and kind of who you're running around. So yeah, you get used to it.
Do you ever like flip him off when you pass him?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's so many birds that get flipped out the window
Are
each
you
race
serious?
that TV doesn't catch. Oh yeah.
During the race, like you just take one hand off the wheel at 200 miles an hour.
Oh, totally. I had a race when I was in Xfinity where I was running second, and Kyle Busch was behind me in third, and I was blocking him, and he had like started last or something. He came all the way through the field, and I was like keeping him behind me, and he finally passed me, and I pissed him off. And we were at one of like the toughest tracks that we run at, and I was like young, so I had both hands on the wheel, like driving. That's all I had. He goes by me and flips me off for a whole lap, all the way through the corners, all the way down the straightaway. Usually, like if you flip somebody off, you just throw him the bird for just a second down the straightaway. And he held it out the window for a whole lap, and I wasn't even mad. I was just so impressed.
How is this possible?
How do you control the wheel going 100 plus with one hand, dude?
Yeah,
really strong forearms.
You're running so much faster, and you get back in one of the Xfinity cars, and it slows down so much for you. I know how you can do it now.
The quote of all that was, I had two hands on the wheel because I was just starting. Or like I
Yeah.
was a rookie. Like now you'd go one hand on the wheel.
Ty's
Like
working on the knee driving so he can give the double bird.
Yeah.
Oh
Totally.
man,
What
about Reed? Anyone give the bird in golf?
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
Is there any like uncomfortable moments on the golf course? Like
Between players?
yeah, like between pairings.
No,
Like is it ever get
it's really. I mean, very rarely do you ever hear of anything. I mean, it's a pretty. I mean, as people know it as a gentleman's game or whatever. It holds true, man.
I love that. That's awesome.
It holds true. I mean, it's. In fact, Xander Soffa's over here right now at the house. They're playing some cards out there, and I only bring that up because it holds true that like he is just another dude in the house, just another dude on the circuits.
That's cool.
One of the best players in the world, but that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just it's so respectful, and that's what golf's all about. So
that's awesome. That's cool.
Sticking on golf.
Yeah, NASCAR's not that way.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying no. NASCAR's not that way. We're pretty. It's pretty cutthroat. We obviously have to travel together, so everybody's pretty cordial in that. But when everybody straps in, it gets everyone's really aggressive and a lot of anger.
What do you mean? You guys all travel together to each race?
Well, we're all each weekend. You're spending four nights or 3 nights a week in the same area. Most of the drivers are staying inside the racetrack, so in the same motorhome lot that's maybe an acre big. So we're all seeing each other, and if you have kids, they're playing and stuff. So it's tough because you want to be able to have community, but yet everyone at the end of the day is kind of looking out for themselves too.
Right. What kind of questions did we have for Ty, Zach? What kind of questions came through?
Well, I had some good ones. One was, how did you get into golf in the first place?
Yeah, man, I don't even know when it started. Like, I think maybe when I was like a freshman in high school, we had a little golf range down by the house, and I would just go down there and hit balls when I was bored. But my dad always played, and so I kind of got into it through that and just hit or miss. Never really played it serious, but really. When I met my wife, when we were dating, her dad is a big golfer. That's how Reed and I got in touch, is through my father-in-law.
Yeah.
And so he's a huge golfer, and he really just taught me a love for the game and how to play it right, and an enjoyment for the game. And so that is just like ignited a fire under me. And this year is probably the most I've ever played. I think I might have around 20 to 25 rounds in this year already, but yeah, I love it. I meet up with it, and now I'm just trying to get under 80 is my goal.
Good, man.
Cool. I got a couple more here. Well, one guy asked a bunch of questions, so I'll give them to you one at a time. It was, how often do you find time to play golf while racing?
Yeah, so on a typical schedule, we fly in, like I said, on Thursday, race on Sunday, and get home. Whether it's a day race or a night race. If it's a night race, we get home Monday morning at 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's, you sleep most of the day on Monday. And then we have our meetings typically Monday afternoon, which usually used to be in person, which are now on Zoom, pretty much all of them. So I get to stay at home for that. And then Tuesday, usually on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, I can get in around in the afternoon. I live on a golf course, so that helps. So I can jump out in the afternoon and play a quick round, but that's about it. Maybe once a week, which is nice. It's a nice thing to have. But yeah, it's because our weekends are pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, where everybody else's is on the weekend. We're working, so it's a messed up schedule, which works nice for golf because not a lot of people are out on Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Yeah. Then he also asked, how many players? Like, is it common for drivers to play golf?
Yeah, there's quite a few good golfers that are drivers. There was actually, I think they're still doing it. They made up a little tour called the Golf Guys Tour of a bunch of NASCAR drivers, and like had full sponsorship and paid like 10 grand to win it if you won all the tournaments or if you won the point system. But it was a legit like amateur tour, I guess.
That's funny.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin is the one who created it, and he goes all out on these things. So it was crazy. I played in it for 1 year.
That's their next step, huh? Working your way onto that.
Yeah, I was on it, but I have a wife and a daughter, and it was taking way too much time for me spending with them on top of being a full-time NASCAR driver. We did like 14 events in golf. So like it was like it's a lot. So but no, I think Denny's like a 2 or maybe a plus now. He's a really good golfer. Ricky Stenhouse is a good golfer. Both of them are lefties. Let's see who else golfs. Some of like the older guys, older drivers. Obviously my brother golfs. He's pretty good. Him and I are about the same, but yeah, there's a good handful of guys.
Do you like Ricky Stenhouse?
Yeah, I like Ricky. Yeah.
Good. I like him too. I like his car. I like that he passes everybody. He doesn't care.
One of the coolest things to me is listening to, and I'm sure for people listening back home, is these people in these certain professions, being on that, in the NASCAR, being in the NBA, being on the PGA Tour, what have you. Like, you still have your daily lives just like everyone else, and people don't realize that. You know what I mean? And you like to go do enjoyable things such as golf or go to the movies or do this or that or whatever. And I think it's cool for people to hear, these kind of things that like you're doing and your off time. And I think it, resonates with everyone that, we're all just, normal human beings that just like to do our own thing, whether it's race NASCAR or do anything. So I think it's cool. I like to hear that. And that makes me happy, dude. I like humble people, and you're one of them.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I think for sure, like a lot of people set themselves up for failure if they just see themselves as just a NASCAR driver, just a golfer.
Right.
If you don't set up your life, because all these things are going to end in someday. We're all aging. We're all going to move on. And if you don't have anything else that you care about in life, you're just kind of missing the boat. It doesn't really matter anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how long does like a NASCAR driver usually? I mean, they can have pretty long careers.
Yeah. It's I think it's kind of like any sport. The drivers are getting younger, coming to the sport at a younger age, and really having big careers at a young age. And you seeing guys retiring earlier too. But I say it's more along the lines of golf. Like some people are hitting their prime mid-30s to late 30s. For me, this is my 4th year in the Cup Series. I'm 28. I don't know if I'll make it to 40. That would be a really long career doing this for a long time. So, I want to make the most of it for the next 5 years, 6 years, and kind of reassess from there. But I think that would be a good career. 9 to 10 years would be a long career and a great one. It's a high demand. It's a lot like golf, but we don't get to really pick and choose where we want to go. We have 36 weeks of the year that we have to be there from Thursday to Sunday, and like this year we have no weekends off. The coronavirus took all of our off weekends, so pretty much when we went back, we're going back and our season is from February till November 20th. So it's a long season.
Yeah, you mentioned I saw earlier that a lot of NASCAR drivers, they'll race like into their late 30s kind of thing. And I feel like, is it not a big problem? Like reflexes get worse as you get older. You would think like your prime would be like your early 20s almost, and like your vision gets worse.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of that starts working against you, but like just like anything, like experience kills too. It's like like that old veteran golfer that just gets out there and just knows the game, and he's been through it 100 times. And I think those guys are still crushing. I mean, like Kevin Harvick, I think is 41 or 42, and he's won 2 or 3 races this year, is leading the points. And,
well, how long did Jeff Gordon race?
He raced till he was 40, in his mid 40s. I think the oldest one that raced the longest was Mark Martin. He went to like 55 or something like that. Yeah, which is a long time. But he was like a freak of nature in shape.
Who's the youngest ever race on Xfinity? Or the Cup, sorry.
Cup Series? I think Joey Logano was 18.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure an 18-year-old has done it.
Yeah. I think there's been a couple 18-year-olds be the youngest. There's actually an age limit. You can't be younger than 18 now.
Ty, do you still go back home and do those, I don't even know what they call them, the dirt races with like a little,
yeah. I used to do that.
What are those called?
Dirt races, yeah. Yep. So that's what I grew up doing.
Right. You never go just do them for fun or anything?
No, not anymore. I used to. It's kind of like everything else. Like, once you get to the Cup Series, you put so much. It requires so much focus and energy and time of my life to perform at that level. That, like,
I get it.
The other time I want to spend with my wife and my daughter, and so and that's part of me, like, having a life outside of just the sport and keeps me grounded. So, I could, like, there's a lot of guys that just race, and for me, I want to have a life too.
I feel like that's a big part of playing golf too. Like, I feel like it's the opposite to NASCAR golf. Like, it slows everything down. It's probably more just like take your mind off things and be peaceful.
Yeah, I think it's so important too. Like, I think you can overdo it. Like, I know myself, and like, I need time to step away and then to be able to come back fresh. And we just did 7 races in, I don't know, two weeks or something, and it's just been brutal. Like, mentally, physically, just smoked. And I was talking to 3 or 4 other drivers, and they're just like, they're toast. They're just, it's so draining to go through that in and out, up and down, and do it so many times. And it takes a toll on your body, and you just kind of need a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
no, that makes total sense.
I got a couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
This first one's a little hard hitting, so if you don't want to answer, you just let us know. It's what are your thoughts on the banning of the Confederate flag?
Yeah. No, I'm not afraid to answer it. No, I think it's a good thing. I think it should have happened years ago in our sport, but definitely better late than never, I guess. It's something I'm proud of our sport for taking a step forward and kind of changing history. Our sport has been in the kind of overseated or overstated as having a deep Southern roots, possibly racist undertone to it. And I'm so proud to be a part of NASCAR in this day and age and be a part of a group of drivers who are saying, hey, this isn't who we are, and we want to change the narrative, and being out front of taking action. And I'm actually a part of a committee that's going to meet for the first time tomorrow on what we can do for diversity going forward for our sport, and just making it hopefully changing the narrative of the history of our sport. So yeah, it's something I care about a lot, and I'm very happy that we've done.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Really, that's really awesome. I mean, there's so much cultural, social impacts going around the world right now. So I mean, watching the golf tournament and seeing HV3 up there was, everyone was talking about that, and
that was so cool.
Kind of the weight he had on his shoulders and what was probably going through his mind while he was playing. So I mean, it's good. We just gotta keep talking about this, keep an open mindset to everything, of course.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, well, the last question is going to be a complete 180 from that question, because I'm very bad at keeping things serious here. So this question is, do you find it problematic that all of your drives go left?
Yeah, I wish it was that way on the golf course. I would much rather be playing for a draw than a fade. But No, yeah, it's no, I can figure it out when I get home. I'm not always turning left.
How annoying is that statement? Do you hear it like from people who are actual like in NASCAR areas? Like in Canada, that's the joke.
Yeah, no, like I don't hear it enough. I think it's a good joke and it can be timed right. I think many
Perfect.
occasions
I'll keep
people
using
don't.
it.
Yeah, people don't use it enough around me. It's like, oh, it can't go right. Like that would be. I would welcome that, but nobody uses it. I think everybody thinks it's overused, but sometimes
Right.
that'd be great.
Wow, this is a hot take. We're turning things around.
Yeah.
Underused the jokes.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
all
like there was
in.
like a commercial way back when like I don't know, like
It's a
Jimmy
Geico
Johnson.
commercial.
Oh, is it? Who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Casey Mears, the guy that drove my car
okay,
before me.
exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Was he
It's
like trying to
funny.
get home or something? Or
Yeah, and he couldn't go right, and his house is right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you because since we have NASCAR and golf here at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like it's a big stigma around both of these sports that the competitors in each of these sports are not considered athletes. What
Oh yeah.
what do you say to those people who are like, you just
Have you
drive a
seen the
car,
guy?
you're not an athlete? Or I mean,
Yeah.
there's loads of kind of overweight people in golf too that aren't really looking like your NBA athlete or something like that. But what do you think?
I can't speak for golf, which I do think golf takes some athleticism, definitely, if you're going to be the best. But for NASCAR, all I can say is I started monitoring my heart rate last year to really work on my fitness as a Cup driver. So we race 36 times a year, and pretty much every weekend in that time. I measured it for the first time. It was Coca-Cola 600, and it was a 6-hour race. It was 6 hours, I believe that race was, and I averaged 155 heart rate. So if you want to know for athletes, just run for 6 hours at 155 heart rate, and when you
See
get
if you
done, let me
survive.
know, and then I'll tell you that it's 140 degrees also inside of our car, and we're running almost 200 miles per hour, and we're racing within tenths of a second, and a tenth of a second is you can't click a stopwatch that fast. So you tell me if you think we're
Crazy.
athletes.
That is the best explanation I've ever heard. That is perfect.
That was. We need to clip that.
Hey, if anyone ever comes nasty again, just clip this part of the pod and just have them listen, and then just say shut up.
Yeah. I've been using that. I've gotten that a couple lately, and I've built a good case for it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Ty, our last segment of the show here, we always do is a little fun thing that Zach has created. Zach, do you want to tell Ty about it?
Well, this is a separate segment from our Canadian trivia because Canadian trivia has died off because we've ran out of Canadian fun facts.
Canada's only so big
nowadays. But this is a new segment called 3 Dumb NASCAR Questions by a Canadian. Hey,
bring it on.
Question number 1. How scary is driving for NASCAR?
It's scary at the beginning, for sure. Just like anything, like I feel like any sport, when you step into it for the first time, whether it's in high school or whatever, you're overwhelmed. Everything's happening so fast, you're not really prepared. But the more years and more experience you get, it slows down and you become accustomed to it. Then it becomes about, the fundamentals and doing the things right. So it is scary at first, just like any other sport.
I feel like every
Second
time I
question,
hit like 200, it'd feel like bungee jumping or something. Like it's always make me freak out.
My heart would be in my friggin' mid.
Yeah, 200. Anytime you go over 200, it's not fun. Or not, it's fun, but it's like
probably
it goes
so
to a level of like, yeah, it's still really fun, but it goes to a level of like, we call it going 2-0 shit.
2-0 shit.
Like,
yeah.
It's
like don't
things.
fuck up, Steve.
Yeah, those things is like you start considering life decisions when you make moves at that speed. It becomes more life detrimental.
That's crazy. Second question: how expensive is a car?
I'd say it's a whole car is probably around 600 grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but we have 12 of them, so.
You have 12 of them, just in case you crash the first 11.
So each track requires a little bit different of a build of car, so it's not just the same car every single week. So we usually take a primary car and a backup car in case you crash in practice. And so you have short tracks, intermediate tracks, super speedways, and then road courses. So each one of those styles of track requires a different kind of car.
Okay.
Zach, how could you be such an idiot?
Yeah, that's why it's dumb questions. Like, this is, first of all, I'm going to be the biggest NASCAR expert on this show.
That's
and
right.
Then we'll see what's going on. This is a
An
sidebar
engine costs
question.
$150,000.
Oh, that's an expensive engine.
Yeah.
I'll take the engine. Now I know what to steal.
Yeah. So if you see one blow up in a race, you'll be like, that was expensive.
That's actually what I'm going to say. Every time I'm with friends, I'll be like, bet you didn't know.
Yeah. That's a lot of money burning right there.
Sidebar question, because I don't want to get to my third one just yet. Is it weird, or like, does it change your decision making when you're racing against your brother?
Yeah, I can't deny that it does. It's I don't know. I just want to beat him. So if I'm going 110%, I'm going 120 when I'm around
the
him.
other way.
And I know it's
thought
the
you were
same.
gonna say, like, so you don't leave, like, if you're passing him, would you leave like a little bit more margin of error?
We're cordial at times, but it's all timing of the race. You know, I give him breaks at times in the race when I know he's clearly better. But if we're both like having a good day and going for it, it's like it's all out war.
Nice.
Yep.
Third and final question: do you hate F1?
Do I hate F1?
Yeah, is it like a rivalry?
No, I don't hate it. I used to, but that was before the Netflix Drive to Survive came out, and I started learning more about F1, and now I love it. It's fun to watch. I'm hoping they get back going.
Wow. No, but you guys should have like a rivalry. Like, you should hate like Daniel Ricciardo. You should be like, I'd smoke him.
No.
Not like Ricky
better,
Bobby.
so we don't like. It's like beating up on the little kid at school. We're better sports. So.
That's fair. Do you think it's very different, or you guys could like adapt to one another if you gave it like a couple of years or something?
I swear I could drive an F1 car, but I think I could do it. If I had a year, I could get it. A year would be plenty of time. I could go and win races if I was in the right car, obviously. But
yeah,
I think their drivers are a little bit more glorified and prima donna than us. And I think that F1 drivers all go to sleep at night wishing they were NASCAR drivers.
Really? I feel like NASCAR drivers are more relatable, kind of.
Totally.
And yeah, how much more, like, I'm assuming in both sports the car does make a big difference of what team you're on, but is it more of a difference in F1?
It's pretty equal. You know, I think it's all a money game in each one of the sports. Like I know Kyle Busch won the championship last year, I believe, and their budget was around 30 or 40 million. My team finished 24th in points, and we're running off 10 million. So you know, it's a big discrepancy there, and it's the same in F1, but instead of like just 10 and 30 million, they're like 300 million and 100 million. They've got a couple more zeros on their millions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also, I keep having additional questions, but I stumbled upon your Twitter account, which, by the way,
Zach loves this.
We need to figure out. I am loving this. I am like giddy. I don't usually care which guests we have, but like,
don't say that.
I care, but like, I don't usually get like, come on, you know, like I could NASCAR. I'm all in. Okay, first of all, when you follow you, it suggests your brother and then Ricky Stenhouse. So I think that's a sign.
That's funny.
You have less followers than your brother. Is that like like you guys clearly knew that by your Do you think that's a little bit of a competition?
I also stopped doing Twitter like 2 years ago. So whatever comes up on there is just like a repost of something else. I only solely run Instagram, but he's got more followers on everything.
Tweeted a day ago.
Well, it wasn't me. It must be
wow.
coming from my race team. Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah. So I don't enjoy Twitter that much because it's just I get annoyed by seeing everybody's opinions.
Fair.
But so I just do Instagram, and I used to be really obsessed with social media and trying to make my platform as big as possible, and then now I've pretty much just made it about me being me, and so Instagram is what I do. And my brother's also been in Cup for like 4 years longer than me, so that helps a lot of eyeballs and things too. So yeah, he's definitely got more followers for whatever reason, and he's into what would that be called? Get in contact with other celebrities and growing your platform, and that's not really how I do.
It's like working on his Instagram game, maybe.
Ty is very, very, very modest. I will say that.
I know. You
I
do
I like people to follow me for me.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
You should plug your YouTube channel. I know you do stuff with that.
Yeah.
You still doing that? No? Tell the people
No,
how they can find it.
Yeah. So my YouTube channel, it's still on there, but a couple years ago, I had a videographer follow me to every single race, and we came up with a show. It's really fun, called The Ride, and we did some races last year too. But it was just kind of like golf and everything else. It was such a demand on my time that it was just kind of robbing a little bit too much of what I wanted to give away. So it was really fun idea, and maybe who's to say we wouldn't do it in the future again. But I think it did give a good peek into the life behind a driver and what it's kind of like being at the racetrack and the things that we do. And it was a great idea, and I was hoping more drivers would get on to that. And no one's really doing that, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reed, Nolan, you guys got anything?
What do you guys? Well,
nothing left mine. I just want to say thank you to Ty for coming on. It definitely was fun to kind of spice it up with something that was non-golf, man. Relating it back to not just NASCAR, not just golf, but all sports. At the end of the day, it's a lot of it. Is the same. We like to talk about it and get people's opinions and whatnot, and it's fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on, Ty.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I got one final question for you guys, and we can do this back and forth too. So, all right, you guys got to guess the top 3 finishers for Talladega this Sunday, and I'll guess the top 3 for the tour.
Hey,
we got to guess the first 3 for the first 3 finishers.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna put Ty in there.
right.
I'm putting Ty in there 100%.
Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think we all got Ty.
There you go.
I'm gonna go Logano.
All right, got you.
Logano's good, man.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm going Ty, Logano, and Kevin Harvick.
There you go.
It looks like you don't like Kevin Harvick, but on to Nolan.
You want me to go? Zach?
Oh, I thought you were going Nolan.
Well, I was asking you if you want me to go. Well, yeah, I of course am going with Ty. Easy pick there.
Thanks, guys.
He just did this for the confidence.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'm looking at the list here. Let's keep it
2 random guys.
Let's keep it in the Chevy. Chevy's a good car, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I drive.
He doesn't answer no.
Just want to hear you say it. I'm gonna go Bubba
Number 13,
Wallace.
Geico Chevrolet.
He's going Bubba.
I'm going Bubba Wallace. And sneaker pick here. Quinn Huff.
How? that would be like me getting. I love Quinn. I'm friends with him, but if he wins, that would be like me getting into the Tour this weekend and
Exactly.
winning.
Like historic.
My sleeper.
Yeah.
Okay,
I hope he does
I'm going with Ty, obviously winning because he sat through this whole hour just to get the confidence boost. I respect it.
That's right. Yep.
And second, I'm going with Chase Elliott because I think he has a nice.
Ooh, I knew that was coming.
Well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you like that pick, eh, Reed?
I knew that was coming.
3. This is bold. I could go with the good storyline. We could have the Dillon brothers both on the podium.
Yep.
But I'm not feeling as confident in Austin this week. No offense to him.
You're gonna offend me.
We're going to go with Brad Keselowski.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That was a good one.
You better watch out. Zach's going to get on Bovada and put some coin on you, Ty.
There you go.
I might.
I'll do my best.
The problem is, though, I only know guys who have done well in the last 5 races.
That's all you need.
So if someone's been sitting out who's the greatest NASCAR driver of all time, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, nobody's been sitting out, so you're good.
Oh, perfect.
We can't sit out. We're not like golfers.
So who's your pick for the RBC Heritage?
All right, man. I'm gonna go Reed and Mark.
All right.
I know it's all on your shoulders, Reed. So don't mess it up. And then I'm gonna go with Bubba because when Bubba's hot, he's gonna make it happen.
Like that.
And then this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Rom going from missing the cut to winning this week.
All right, I can respect that.
Rom's amazing to watch. He just gets so tilted, Rom, that his round's over as soon as he misses one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Ty. Well, thanks so much for making the time. I know we all really appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners are really going to love it. I know we definitely have a lot of NASCAR fans too. Big fan base there. So looking forward to having them hear it and really thankful for you to come on.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys, for having me. We'll see you.
Thanks, Ty. We appreciate it so much.
Thanks, guys.